Member for Airdrie Cochrane has a question.
Mr. Speaker, Alberta union bosses are angry right now because we are giving the power back to its members, where it belongs. Unifor, for example, launched a lawsuit against the Northern Gateway pipeline despite representing oil sands workers. And AFL President Gil McGowan opposed Keystone XL, Energy East, TMX, Northern Gateway, and the Alberta Clipper, despite representing union workers who would be employed on these projects. Can the Premier explain how Bill 32 will redirect union leaders from protesting oil and gas when they're supposed to be representing their members in industry?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable the Premier.
Mr. Speaker, that's a very good question. These are big national unions. And I think what's happened is that the hard left down east has taken control of some of these unions, and they don't care. They don't care about the jobs, the livelihoods, or the way of life of Western Unifor and union members who work in the oil and gas industry. And so we are going to empower those individual Alberta union members to say no to Jerry Diaz, to say no to big labour, to say yes to their own jobs, to say yes to oil and gas, to say yes to Alberta.
The Honourable Member for Airdrie Cochrane.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Premier. Given that many workers who are unionized in rural Alberta have a spouse that work in the oil and gas industry, and given that many union organizations will use union dues to protest the oil and gas sector, and given that their members rely on these industries to put food on their table, pay their taxes, and even pay their union dues, once again to the Premier, how will Bill 32 give union members a say on where their dues will go?
The Honourable the Premier.
Speaker, through a opt-in provision. So in the future, Jerry Diaz and the union bosses down east won't be able to take millions of dollars from Alberta union members to spend it on anti-oil and gas campaigns. They'll have to ask for their permission first. And you know what this might create, Mr. Speaker? Accountability. That's why the NDP is so ferociously against it. The NDP leader boasted about campaigning with Unifor on pipelines, Mr. Speaker. The Unifor openly, publicly, explicitly is opposed to every pipeline. We're going to empower their members to say no to that nonsense in Alberta.
The Honourable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Premier. Given that the NDP and the AFL are one and the same as Gil McGowan sits on their provincial board, and given that their union members contribute hard-earned wages to the AFL every year, and given that not all union members are NDP supporters, to the Premier, do you think it is fair that non-political people have to support a political campaign, or others are forced to donate to political organizations that they do not align with?
The Premier has the call.
Good question. Mr. Speaker, let me just say this. We respect the right of collective bargaining, and I fully appreciate that there are many union members who support the NDP. There may even be some who belong to and contribute to the NDP, and they have every democratic right to do so. But for those conservative or liberal or nonpartisan supporters in those unions, they should not be forced to fund a political agenda with which they disagree, particularly when it is against their own personal economic and financial interests. The AFL spent $1.8 million supporting the NDP in the last 2 years and opposed every pipeline. That's a shame, Mr. Speaker.